Canada's ship of fools. In a country with a population of less than 10% that of the United States, we are actually captained by more fools than our counterparts to the south. In Tucker Carlson's book, Ship of Fools, we're introduced to a series of interesting facts which are striking in the similarity to our own dear Canada. So let's begin by naming the fools on Carlson's book cover. Left to right, bottom row, we've got Billy Crystal, who is editor-at-large, or was editor-of-large at the now defunct political magazine, The Weekly Standard, and a vocal supporter of the Never Trump movement. Then there's Nancy Pelosi, Mark Zuckerberg, Maxine Waters, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Hillary Clinton, of course, and the guy on the top, probably Jeff Bezos, although a few people have said a pale Obama, so who knows. So who would be deserving a spot on the Ship of Fools here in the Great White North? There are so many to choose from, but here are my picks. Justin Trudeau, of course. Chrystia Freeland, Minister of Foreign Affairs. Catherine McKenna, Minister of Environment and Climate Change, aka Climate Barbie. Ahmed Hussein, Minister of Refugees and Citizenship, himself a Somali refugee. Seamus O'Regan, Minister of Indigenous Services. Harjit Singh, Minister of National Defense and Stolen Valor. Bill Morneau, Minister of Finance and Forgotten Villas in France. Mariam Monsef, Minister of Women and Gender Equality, originally from Afghanistan, or was it Iran? Well, it doesn't matter, she's a woman. Ralph Goodale, Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness, except when it comes to standing up to China. So, what are the similarities? Here are just a few. In February of 2017, Bill Crystal, he of the Never Trumpers, made the case for why immigrants are more impressive than native-born Americans. This is page 118 in Tucker Carlson's book. Sound familiar? That's because it is. Back in June of 2017, Trudeau was quoted as saying that he is jealous of immigrants to Canada and their families who have more of a stake in the country than others, meaning you and me, folks. Page 126, Tucker says, only the United States has the guarantee of free expression. Almost every other country prosecutes its citizens for having unpopular views, even peaceful Canada. Human Rights Commission, anyone? Again on page 126, freedom of speech doesn't exist for the sake of those in power. It exists to safeguard the rights of the unpopular and out of step. Could apply to liberals almost anywhere in Canada. There's nothing more infuriating to a ruling class than contrary opinions, also page 126. It would seem to the casual observer that this is just exactly what Justin Trudeau's $595 million handout to trusted media outlets is all about, and Alberta's suing the rebel media for doing journalistic things they don't like. Another way of censoring speech you disagree with. In Chapter 5, The Diversity Diversion, Tucker writes, the quickest way to control a population is to turn it against itself. Divide and conquer. That's how the British ruled India. There it is, our Prime Minister's favorite word, diversity. And here he could be describing King Justin's MO to a T. Page 151. You no longer hear much from our leaders about the importance of racial harmony. Almost nobody claims we're really all the same beneath the skin. The emphasis is on our differences. That's the essence of the diversity agenda. And finally, page 166. Race-first politics are often the means for advancing discrete bourgeois class interests. President Trump spoke to the people. They voted for him because the common folk got tired of being told that they weren't good enough or smart enough to vote. We can only hope that the Ship of Fools, that is our Canadian Ship of Fools, is a wake-up call for all of us Canadians come October. If we're forced to endure 4 more years of this former drama teacher, our ship may go careening completely off course, perhaps never to regain its path, destined to meander rudderless through the labyrinth of political correctness and social justice, gender and climate change causes. And with Captain Trudeau at the helm, we will surely become castaways, as there will be no one left on the planet who will want anything to do with us. There's only so much of the smugness that the rest of the world is willing to take, even if the guide does remind you of Mr. Dressup and his tickle trunk of culturally appropriated paraphernalia.